voice over the network yells out urgently, we need every able-bodied man on the streets defending their homes. It's like something out of an apocalyptic movie. For more than a year already, the world had felt unsafe due to a microscopic invader that forced us to stay home and separate from one another. But all those subtle fears pale in comparison with the panic aroused by the July 2021 riots in KZN. Staying home because of lockdown is nothing like locking yourself into the house because the neighborhood is ablaze. The week that followed was disturbing. Days were eerily quiet, marked by the enormous queues to get food. These lines spiraling around the shopping centers were peaceful and polite, but they were undergirded with a nervous energy and deep uncertainty. Will there be anything left when I finally get to the front? Will this be the last time I shop here? The evenings were terrifying. Gunshots ringing into the night, the screeching of vehicles hurtling towards danger. Not many slept, and those who did are awoken before sunrise by the sound of massive explosions, another factory blown up. It was an awful few days. Many lives were lost, the peace of our cities was shattered. Our greatest fears, and as we later discovered, the plan of the enemy, was that the looting would evolve into violence that would make our province ungovernable. The rioting itself was merely a smokescreen. Later phases of the attack would have included destruction of power sources, petrol stations, and cell phone towers. Thankfully, those plans were foiled. There were a few factors involved in their failure. Firstly, those who incited the violence drastically underestimated the willingness of the ordinary citizens to stand their ground. As day dawned, the people emerged from their homes armed with brooms and bags to clean up the mess. Neighbors, many meeting for the first time, joined hands to barricade their streets. They spoke with clarity in the dusty streets. We want no part of this. We choose peace. And yes, the church was there too. The response was overwhelming as Christians from all over the country, all over the world, sent aid in the form of food, clothing, money, prayer. A lot of prayer. And though the history books will never record this part of it, because they never do, we know that it was our God who answered that prayer and prevented further calamity. The recovery is not complete, and the scars of this hell week still mark our communities and our souls. There is still broken trust between the people and their leaders, suspicion between neighbors on different sides of the conflict, and we still jump when we hear a loud bang and replay events in our nightmares. But with God's help and healing, there is emerging from these ashes new life, new vision, new ministries, and glorious new opportunities for the proclamation of the gospel into broken places. The dust had barely settled when the rains came. Once more lives were disrupted and the city streets trashed, but this time the enemy was one we were utterly powerless against.
You see there on that first house there, there are 4 people. They are all, out of 5, 4 of them are missing. Yeah, the second one, they are at the roof. There are about 8 people.
Wow.
Yeah. 8 people, they are still missing.
Here was 6 houses here. Was 2 or 3 houses this side. So all of them are gone. All of them are gone. But I don't know.
Did the people what about the people?
I don't know how many people is in, but people are safe.
Okay.
So yeah.
So how does this make you feel, man?
I'm prepared. Because lot of people, all of them is from my country. So yeah, I'm not feeling 100%. I'm not feeling. Yeah, I'm feeling bad. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I dare say, though, that we were more prepared for that blow, and that the response of God's people was even swifter, and that the networks and neighbors were fast out of the blocks to get to those in need. And even though, yet again, the scars are still all over our streets, the rebuilding has begun. And this time we're building with our eyes open. Open to our neighbors and to the brokenness and need everywhere. Open to the vast chasm between the wealthy and the poor. Open to the fact that the work is too much for us and we cannot do this alone. Open to the God who sees and is present in all this, and is constantly at work empowering his people. Open to the opportunities to be the fragrance of Christ to a world in deep crisis.